So last week I was chatting to a candidate, preparing them for an interview this week, and they asked me a really interesting question, which is there a psychological thing you can do in an interview? And I thought I'd talk about that this week. So let me put this big, huge disclaimer on the screen. This is not Jedi mind tricks 101. I am not going to teach you to somehow manipulate a person into giving you a job, or the other way around, and manipulate a person to come and work for you. I think there's a lot of people out there that can probably teach you that, and I'm not one of them. What this video is about is how, for the normal person, the normal Joe that just wants a job or just wants to hire someone, to have a positive experience in an interview room with another person across the table. That's all it's about. Two strangers in a room having a positive experience about each other through a little techniques that help people kind of feel welcome in that scenario. And there are a few techniques you can do, and a lot of people forget to do them, which is quite extraordinary actually. So here we go with a couple of thoughts. So number one is a common one, open body language. The moment you look tense, the moment you look negative, crossed arms, looking around the room, don't look interested, sitting side on is another good one as well. Not facing someone and not listening to what they're saying. So an open body language really does engage people. People feel kind of welcomed in the room. I remember a hiring manager that I used to work for would sit there fiddling with his phone and kind of looking down on the CV. And he couldn't work out why people weren't accepting his job offers. There's your reason why. Your body language stunk. And that's the problem. In these situations, we want to feel a little bit royal, don't we? We want to feel a little bit kind of wanted. Even if we're a hiring manager, we want to feel the candidate wants to work for us. And the other way around, we want to feel the hiring manager wants us to come and work for them. So body language in that situation is really, really important, especially in the introduction part, in the first few minutes, that kind of first few seconds of people making a decision about you. The more open and warm you are, the better positive experience you will have. So number two, kind of following on from that open body language, is mirroring technique. Now, you can go through hundreds of books about mirroring techniques, and you can watch Darren Brown talk about it. I'm not talking about trying to hypnotize someone. If you came into an interview with me and started doing mirroring techniques, I'll know straight away, because I'm aware of how people do it. But what I can't be always aware about is the subtle kind of warming mirroring techniques. People kind of making me feel really kind of at ease in the room. And those subtle little mirroring techniques is copying mannerisms, copying words I would use, copying the odd kind of movement of the glasses if you wear glasses, or drinking a little bit of water after you've said something whilst I'm drinking the water. So there's odd little things, but what you need to do, mirroring technique is less is more with mirroring technique. The more you do it, the more people become bloody obvious you're doing it. So don't do as much as you can. Try to do it as subtly as you can. If they lean forward, hold a second, then lean forward. So do some stuff, practice it with your family or something like that. Friends down the pub, or when you're on the pool next. Little subtle mirroring techniques makes people feel warm and kind of positive around you. Now, depending on the type of interview you get into, the silent treatment is not about sitting there and being quiet for the entire interview. Silent treatment is when someone asks you a question and then they go quiet after you've answered that question. We love filling a void, so be aware of this. This is where you can trip yourself up in a psychological game with people. And I'm putting it in here with this. I think this is where strength of character is where you can win at this the best. So if someone asks you a question, it's mostly interviewers will do this, by the way. So if you're a candidate, this is probably an area that you need to work on. And you've answered that question, just bite your tongue, hold yourself. Because the moment you follow that up, that's where you're going to go into that shit zone of kind of just saying whatever random rubbish that you've got in your head, and you do not want to be there. So answer the question, hold your tongue, and wait for them to kind of tell me a little bit more about that, and then that gives you some time to think as well. That gives you some time to breathe a little bit, and you're not trying to fill that void. So hold your tongue once you've answered the question. Don't be scared of a silence, by the way. That's not your fault. But if you've done a few other things in that interview, that warm, positive experience will kind of fill that void for you. Now, this last technique is simplistically confidence. Now, you can go and watch Amy Cudney's fake it till you make it kind of videos on TED Talks, or you can just try your best to feel confident. Now, there's a really good way of doing this that you can do this now when you're down the supermarket or you're kind of walking around the shops or something like that. Just walk up straight and walk around, and the more you do it, the more you feel confident. And if you do it for 10 minutes a day, just stand up straight, walk around. Not arrogance, confidence. Just feel confident about yourself. Doesn't matter what shape, size you are, and you've got body dysphoria, whatever it is. The moment you feel and stand up confident, the people will see that. And people actually love people that are confident around them. Yes, you may be faking it, but the more you learn how to do it, how to be confident, the more you will lift yourself up and feel good about yourself. And when you're in an interview, especially when you're out of work at the moment, and this is quite a good one actually, if you're out of work, you are negatively kind of affected by the fact you've got no money coming in. So if you hold yourself up high and be confident, then you will be positive about the way you go about life and the way you go about your interview, and things will be different for you, and you will see things different as well. So it's just that little bit of walk around, shoulders back, head up high, and just walk around confident, pushing your trolley around Asda. Trust me, it works. It really does. Now I said that was the last technique, but there's one kind of little thing I want to add in here, which kind of falls into the psychological kind of interview techniquing realm, which is telephone interviews. And I always find this is a really, really good technique. A lot of people don't do this, which is really sad, which is wear what you would wear to an interview for a telephone interview. And it's all about, again, that psychological feel to you, kind of, you're in an interview, so you're in interview mode. And normally when you stick a shirt and tie on, if you're a guy, or your best blouse for an interview if you're a girl, then you know that you are going to be in interview mode. So your brain switches into interview mode and you'll be a lot more kind of focused and effective. Obviously your environment around you when you're in an interview is really important, so quiet place. Be ready 10-15 minutes before the interview with the phone in your hand, fully charged, or if you can get a landline, even better. But focus on these things that really help you to be in a positive state of mind. It's really hard to play that mirroring game and that open body language, but you can do that on the phone and it comes across. It still comes across. The moment you're kind of slouching, laying on a bed, or however you do your telephone interviews, people can hear that in your voice. So if you sit up tall and you pretend or project that interview is right in front of you, you will get to where you need to get within that interview in a positive manner. So like I say, you're not going to be the next Obi-Wan Kenobi with this, but hopefully these little tiny techniques that you do in your next load of interviews, or even when you're in meetings, wherever, meeting a girl for the first time, meeting a guy for the first time, you know, whatever it is, just try your best to do some little things that make people feel wanted around you. Make people feel warm around you, so they have a positive experience around you. So when they come to reviewing you in their life, in the job, whatever it may be, they will look at you in a positive manner. I hope this helps. Take care. Bye-bye. Why not check out thomaslee.co.uk for the latest jobs in engineering and technical sales across the UK? Or even, how about you check out our blogs and vlogs for the latest thoughts about recruitment and tips on how to find a job and how to find candidates as well.